Hey guys, welcome back to another Paramount Perspective video. Today I will be sharing with you some practical actions and advice that you can follow to immediately improve your public speaking ability so that next time you go and you have to make a speech, you can get up there and intrigue your audience and hold their attention and gain some respect and influence. If you can follow what I'm about to tell you and incorporate some of my advice into your next speaking opportunity, I guarantee you that you are going to outperform the majority of people. Because let me tell you, most people are absolutely terrible at public speaking, okay? Communication and public speaking are great tools that you should try to master over the course of your life. Those who can do it very well are usually highly rewarded for it. If you are currently afraid of public speaking and want to improve, that's what I'm here for. Listen closely to the rest of this video. Let's begin. So before I dive into the information I have for you today on how to become a great public speaker, I first want to explain why I am a credible person to teach you about public speaking. Because some of you out there might be wondering, why am I qualified to teach public speaking? I'm young, I probably haven't had much experience speaking to other people, right? And those are very valid skepticisms and concerns that you may have. But I do have two reasons why I am that person that you should listen to when it comes to speaking publicly. The first reason is that I actually have had a lot of experience with public speaking, and in most cases I've performed extremely well. Let me give you a few examples. So back in high school, I was in the business program where I had to give speeches to my class about once every 2 weeks. Another example is that I competed at the state level 2 years straight, giving presentations on economic research with my speaking partner. It was a team speaking event. The crazy thing is that we actually won first place in the entire state of Florida 2 years straight. And then my personal favorite, goes all the way back to 7th grade, where me and one of my best friends, Chris Scanlon, competed in the National History Fair. We did very well at the county competition, very well at the state competition level, advancing us to the national competition level, where we got to take a train all the way from Florida to Washington, D.C., and we ended up placing very high in that competition as well. To give you some perspective, that year there were 800,000 students competing in the National History Fair. Me and Chris got 27th. All right. Now, I don't tell you this information to brag about myself or my speaking accomplishments. I tell you this so that you know that you're getting this information from a very credible person that knows what he is talking about when it comes to public speaking. I want you to know that this information is correct and accurate. Please feel free to use all the tips that I have for you today. All right, so the number two reason why I am credible, besides having accomplishments in speaking, is that I took a college level course on public speaking where I learned a lot, and I'm about to share that information with you today. I'm excited. Let's jump into the actual tips. When breaking down the science of becoming a fantastic public speaker, there are multiple categories that we can choose to focus on. For this video, we are going to be focusing on three main categories, the first of which is body language. So let me tell you a little bit about what body language you should be using when delivering a speech to a group of people. So number one is make sure that you're facing your audience. For this video, let's pretend that this window right here is a PowerPoint presentation that a speaker has prepared. Okay, so what I see a lot of people doing, depending on how unconfident and unprepared they are, they will start turning more and more of their body to facing the PowerPoint. A common position that people will take is kind of this in-between position where they're not facing directly either the audience or the PowerPoint, and that makes it easy for them to kind of turn between the PowerPoint, turn back to the audience at about a 50-50 ratio. That's not what you should do. What you should do is stand confidently facing the audience, okay? Now, it gets even worse from there. I've seen people that will stand perpendicular with their shoulder facing the audience. And then here's the cringiest of all. Okay, I have seen this. Some people actually turn and have their back facing the audience, and they will just straight up read their PowerPoint. And that is terrible, okay? That is absolutely terrible for a couple of reasons. Number one, it signals to the audience that you're a nervous wreck. And number two is it signals that you're completely unprepared for your speech, okay? What you need to do is stand and face your audience about 90% of the time and only turn to your PowerPoint to read it only a few times. And I'm going to be showing you how you can make a PowerPoint presentation that allows you to only look back a few times and kind of use it as a bulleted speaking point list rather than as paragraphs, okay? We're going to get more into that later. But for now, just know that you have to face your audience, okay? Step number 2 for body language is having proper body posture. What I want you to do is think about the word openness, okay? A lot of people, they'll stand really closed off. They'll have their fists clenched. They'll have maybe their hands in their pockets, maybe their hands right here, their feet close together, and they'll kind of close themselves off towards the audience with their body language. They'll be really closed, really tight. And the reason for that is that your mentality will reflect itself in your body language. So if you're feeling really unconfident and you're feeling really insecure, you're going to have your body language kind of be insecure and unconfident as well. So what I want you to do is stand in a confident body language posture. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, your chest out, your shoulders back, your head up, chin up, facing the audience. Have confident body language posture. Your hands down by your waists, just one waist. You have your hands down by your waist and you're confident. And that's going to help you with your speaking ability as well, because if you force yourself to have confident body posture, that's going to also signal to your brain that you're confident. Going to make your speech turn out a little bit better, okay? Now, number 3 is hand gestures and your arm movements. The main takeaway from this one is don't fidget. Do not be cracking your knuckles. Don't be wiggling your hands in weird ways. Don't be playing with your wrist, playing with your thumb, picking at your finger skin, all that stuff, right? Whatever you do, that would be fidgeting. Keep your hands flat. Keep your palms flat. And then when you go to make arm and hand gestures, have your hands, for the most part, be slow, purposeful movements around your waist area. And then if you really want to make a bigger point or make some emphasis or a pattern interrupt to your audience, get your hands up higher a little bit, make some points kind of with your body too, kind of do a swaying motion like that. And then here's another one, and this one you can't do all the time, but if you're on a stage or have the ability to move around, you want to move around, because that will cause people to have their attention shift to different positions in the room. It'll keep them more awake, more attentive to your presentation. So if you're on a stage, make sure that you walk around, interact with different people, look at different people, have confident body language posture, once again with your hands and arms down by your waist. Be confident, walk confident. All those things are going to help you. Now, a main takeaway from this entire video is that your body language is absolutely super important, more so even than the words that you say. And here's why. The audience, it's a harsh truth, but the audience is going to hardly remember what you say even just an hour after you leave. Think about it. How many speeches have you been to? Now, how much have you truly remembered from all those speeches? You probably haven't remembered much. I know I haven't remembered much. But what you will always remember is how good of a speaker that person was, how confident they were, how well they delivered the speech. Your body language and your overall delivery are what matter more, because you want to leave the audience with an impression that you knew that you knew what you were talking about and that you were confident, right? The words don't matter as much. Category number 2 is PowerPoint presentations. And this one is incredibly simple and easy. I've got 2 things for you. Number 1 is have fewer words, and number 2 is have more images. Now, why would you want fewer words, more images? The reason is because you do not want your audience primarily fixated, primarily focused on your PowerPoint presentation that you created. You want the audience focused on you, the speaker, rather than on the visual aid that you created. And the way to do that is to have fewer words, okay? At the maximum, I want you to follow this rule. You do not want to go over the 6x6 principle. 6 bullet points, 6 words per bullet points, that is the absolute max. Ideally, have less than that, okay? Now, this is uncomfortable for a lot of speakers because, like I said, a lot of speakers use their visual aid or PowerPoint presentation as kind of a crutch to fall back on. Like I said, a lot of people will stand here with their back and read the paragraphs that they wrote. That is the worst thing that you can do, and your audience is going to be put to sleep by that. You want to have your bullet points inside your PowerPoint act as a reminder for what you're going to speak about. So what you want to do is be able to look at the bullet point, read the 1 to 6 words within 0.5 seconds, and then speak for 15 seconds to a minute on your topic. And that way the audience will be looking at you as well. You do not want your audience reading. That's the worst thing that can happen. That's going to bore your audience. They're not going to look at you. They came to watch you speak. They did not come to read. You can read information on the internet. right? So that's the key. And then also use images for professionalism reasons, and then also to keep it lighthearted and fun. Sometimes goofy images work. It kind of depends on your audience, but fewer words, more images is the way to go. Okay, the last category is how to actually deliver the words that you are going to be saying during your speech. We've got body language covered, we've got the PowerPoint covered. Now is time for you to actually speak the words that you need to say. The first thing that I want you to focus on and always remember is to diversify. You don't want to speak like this and always have the same tonality and speak at the same rate and always be speaking at the same volume and not commanding any attention because you're boring as hell and all this stuff, right? No. You want to speak at different rates to command the audience's attention. You want to speak at different volumes, get softer when it is necessary, get louder when you're emphasizing a point, and not speak at the same rate. You want to vary your stuff up. You're going to be very boring if you speak at the same volume, tonality, and rate the entire speech, okay? So that's one, diversify. And then number two, this is one that a lot of people tend to focus on. It's a hard point for most people, and that is filler words. Now, filler words are difficult because a lot of people are very uncomfortable with the natural pauses that come along with speaking. Even I throw a few out here and there, but for the most part, I've been able to eliminate them, and I will show you how as well. Okay, so number one is recognize that a pause to you during a speech seems like an eternity to you, but to the audience, it's like 1 second, half a second maybe. So just realize that your pauses actually aren't as long as you think that they are, and just be silent. It's okay to be silent for a minute. Watch. See? That wasn't so bad. You don't have to say, stumble across yourself. That's going to show that you're nervous. It's going to show that you're not ready and prepared to speak about. Even if you are, you just want, a lot of people have it just out of habit that they say them, but you want to speak without them the best that you can. The way to eliminate that is to have somebody watch you speak, and every time you use a filler word, I want you to tell them to stop you in your speech. So if you use make them stop you right there. Be like, you said don't say okay? So do that, eliminate your filler words, and vary your tonality to command the audience's attention. Remember what I said, speaking and delivering an excellent public speech is all about your delivery, it's all about your body language, it's all about your confidence. People are not going to remember what you said, okay? So take those 3 tips, how to make your PowerPoint, how to speak correctly with variants, and how to use proper, confident body language to go out and kill your next speech. I know you will. Make sure you spend some time preparing so that you know your content well. I know you're going to do well. Watch the insane reactions that you're going to get. You're going to be a baller. I can't wait for you to do it. I'll see you next time. Stephen Lawrence, out.